Hi and good day everyone. I'm Aina Badrina Ismail. I'm a third year UBD student majoring in sociology and anthropology, and I will be presenting about my community outreach program experience with Dementia Brunei. So before I move on, I just want to touch on why I chose Dementia Brunei as my COP placement. So I've always been interested in volunteering but never really got the chance to do it. And I recently finished my internship with an NGO for autism. And I knew I wanted to explore other areas of volunteering that is outside of my personal experience. I was with Dementia Brunei for 14 weeks from the 10th of January to the 16th of April, in which I mainly worked from home. So before I start, I will go through our timeline of activities that we did throughout the months, in which I will elaborate more later on. So January mainly consisted of brainstorming ideas, planning of events and activities, writing up proposals, as well as finalizing our events. And throughout the whole month of February, March, and April, we did a social media campaign and article writing, which was divided between 3 groups, with one group doing each month. And group 1 started in February, which included myself and 3 other DY students. In March, alongside the social media campaign and article writing, we also did fundraising activities, one of them being a reminiscence care package and a bake sale. We also did a weekly modified module webinar, which was also done in groups. Again, April was social media campaign and article writing. And lastly, throughout the whole month of March and in the beginning of April was when we held our virtual run, hike and bike event. We had our first introductory meeting on the 14th of January. It was done virtually, and we were introduced to our supervisors, practitioners, as well as the board directors of Dementia Brunei. We were also interviewed on why we chose Dementia Brunei as our placement, and as well as our objectives and what we plan to achieve coming into the agency. And towards the end of the meeting, we were also given an overview of the planned activities and were told to decide amongst ourselves on what we wanted to do as our activities for the next 3 months. On the 18th of January, I attended a Zoom webinar held by Dr. Nazira, where she gave an overview of dementia, and I learned about dementia's definitions, its symptoms, its types, risk, diagnosis, as well as the care system. It was a very helpful and informative webinar, as I was able to learn more in depth about dementia, and prior to attending this webinar, I was required to read through given documents and research more on dementia. It was also necessary for us to acquire more knowledge on dementia before we move on with our activities, so it was a nice way to start off our time there. And then we had our first physical meeting on the 26th of January, where we met with Dr. Teo at the Health Promotion Center, and it is where we mostly discussed on our projects, the groupings that we've decided, and we also presented our activity calendar. We also discussed on proposal making to be sent to authorities and board directors in order to receive approval and for us to proceed with our projects. And moving on to team meetings. Throughout the 3 months, there was numerous virtual meetings, especially during the planning stages of our activities. Due to restrictions, we mainly met virtually to plan and discuss on our prospective projects. The picture shown on the top left corner was our first team meeting, and we talked about our strengths and weaknesses, which then I led the meeting by going through the given activities one by one and asked if the rest of the team would be interested in doing any of them. And by the end of the meeting, I was appointed as leader of our team, in which I was responsible for collecting and submitting everyone's portfolios and essays to be sent to our UBD supervisor every month. And the pictures on the bottom was 2 of the many meetings that I've had with my subgroup members. Aside from our team meetings, we also had weekly meetings with the board directors every week on Fridays at 2 p.m., where we were to update on our current projects and upcoming projects, and it's usually where we solve any issues or setbacks that we had with the events. And we also receive feedbacks on our works that we did throughout the week. In February, my group and I started our social media campaign where we uploaded posters 3 times a week to Dementia Brunei's social media platforms. As a part of this, my task included designing some of the infographic posters, coming up with captions for the post, and sending it to our supervisor for approval and also scheduling the post. While posting on Instagram was mostly dependent on the availability of my team members and I was mainly in charge of updating and posting on Dementia's Facebook account and page, so the post syncs up with the ones that we posted on Instagram. These are some of the posters that we uploaded throughout the month of February. Moving on, my group members and I also did our article writing, which was published in Borneo Bulletin on the 17th of March. Our original title was initially Debunking Lali and Sakit Tua as Normal Aging, but due to censorship, the published title became Understanding Dementia. My task for this article included editing and proofreading the draft as well as the completed article. I contributed in writing out the conclusion of the article as well as sending an email to Borneo Bulletin for request of publication. Aside from that, we also did a newsletter for Alzheimer's Disease International where our story and projects was featured in their website. This was a collective contribution by all of the DY students. And then throughout the whole month of March, our virtual run, hike and bike was held. This was an event organized by all members of the DY students as a part of a fundraising project. A part of my task for this event was to liaise with government agencies and to locate potential sponsors. I also reached out to companies for price quotations, picking up our custom medals, and I also discussed with a member of the board director on negotiations with a company for the t-shirt design. On the 6th of March, I held and moderated a talk on dementia with Hazana through Google Meet. As we were the first one to start off the weekly talk, we gave an introduction on dementia, and I talked about the risk factors, how to reduce the risk, and touched briefly on the impacts of dementia on individuals as well as caregivers, while Hazana talked about the definitions, the types of dementia, symptoms, as well as how our brain works. We managed to reach 18 participants and receive good feedbacks on it as well. In the month of March, myself as well as 3 other DY students launched the Reminiscence Care Package, which was a fundraising project that aims to educate the public about reminiscence therapy, which is one of the therapies used for people with dementia, and to establish a network of support for the community of dementia in Brunei and the Dementia Brunei organization as well. My delegated tasks in this project included keeping track of the receipts and purchases made for the package. I liaised with companies and placed orders for our DB custom stickers. I also digitally designed and drew the logo used in the tote bag and the sticker, which then became our group's logo. I did product shoots and videos for social media along with coming up with marketing strategies. I was also involved in purchasing items for the boxes, and once the care package was open for orders, I messaged buyers to confirm their order and arrange for a pickup date and time as well as making deliveries. For achievements, I felt like I managed to develop social and project planning skills. This is through the process of sending out proposal letters, getting approvals, the budget planning, as well as liaising with companies. I was also able to improve my communication skills as I had to liaise with multiple companies over the past few months, as well as contacting authorities such as Borneo Bulletin and the Ministry of Home Affairs. Not only that, my time with Dementia Brunei has allowed me to express a more creative thinking, from doing the infographic posters, marketing posters, writing an article to digitally drawing a logo has significantly helped to enhance my creativity skills. However, there were some challenges that I faced throughout the months, and a big part of that was because we were working from home, and one of them is the working hours, because since there was no clear way to unplug at the end of the day, it was quite a challenge for me to separate work and personal tasks. and sometimes my team members and I find ourselves checking and responding to emails and messages late into the night. It was also hard to network virtually and multitasking as well, as I was juggling between multiple projects and activities while also doing and submitting my DY assignments at the same time. Now moving on to recommendations that I have for Dementia Brunei's future projects. One of them is to do features or monthly features of individuals with dementia and caregivers for them to share their experience with dementia, which can be either on Dementia Brunei's social media or website. I believe that this can make caregivers feel like they have a safe space for Dementia Brunei's platforms to be an outlet for caregivers and also individuals with dementia to express the realities of it. Another one is to increase their social media presence by going on Instagram lives, doing quizzes, posting infographics, or having giveaways. And lastly is to do collaborations with other NGOs. And that is it for my presentation. And now that my COP program with Dementia Brunei has come to an end, I just want to say thank you. It has been an eye-opening, productive, and formative 3 months. My time with Dementia Brunei has not only challenges me out of my comfort zone on a daily basis, but it has also profoundly impacted my perception of dementia. The lessons that I've learned and experiences that I've had with DB are ones that no lecture classes or office jobs can teach. Once again, thank you so much.